God created them as children for a reason, so that we can nurture them, we can raise them, we can train them aright. So when we begin to get into that zone, it's time for us to step back and wonder, okay, what can I do differently? Sometimes we get angry. There are good and bad angers, right? And so I will not say anger is a negative emotion, but it becomes a negative emotion when we're not able to control it, when the anger begins to control us. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you find the content and the videos and the teachings useful for yourself and your teenage boys. Now, my name is Bukola Jolugbo, fondly referred to as Kiki, and I'm the founder of Joshua's Army, where we raise boys to be exceptional and wholesome young men. In the past couple of months, we've been talking to men about their health, about, their well-being. And today, this month of July, our focus is on personal discipline for men. So, personal discipline or self-discipline is part of the tips or part of the tools you need for personal well-being. And so today, I'm going to be talking about something very, very interesting. Guess what it is? Self-control. Yes, self-control. Now, I know that a lot of us have different interpretations to what self-control is. A lot of us have been taught self-control in various manners and different ways. And we're not here to say that is right or this is wrong. But I'll just read from a very simple definition that I got off the internet, and it says self-control is the ability to regulate and alter your responses to avoid undesirable behaviors. So regulate, alter, response, avoid undesirable behavior. I'll read it again. Self-control is the ability to regulate and alter your responses to avoid undesirable behaviors. Now, undesirable behaviors from myself to the receiver, or from the receiver to myself. A lot of the times we say, focus on the things you can control. In my circle of friends, there's this fun joke that we say, focus on your focus. Focus on the things I can control. And one of the things I can control is myself. How I regulate, how I alter my responses to situations and to circumstances around me, and in this case to my children. So what are my focuses? What are the things I am focusing on when I respond to my children? Now, self-control is also the ability to manage your emotions, ability to be assertive without being aggressive. So self-control is being able to control your anger, your rage, knowing how to respond without raging and identifying how to win. Now, I love that when I say that. Self-control is knowing how to regulate myself and identifying how to win. A lot of us as parents, including myself, we go into this unknown, unwritten contest. That's the right English. Contest with our children, and then we're looking for winning. There is no parenting is a journey, is a marathon, right? There is no destination, so there is no winning point. It is a journey, and the earlier we know that as parents, that one, I'm not contesting with my spouse, neither am I contesting with a child. I am just raising a godly child for God. So self-control is helping me regulate myself and identify how to win on this journey, as a win in raising godly children, not to win against anybody. And there are a few reasons, particularly in men. Remember this channel, these teachings, we're talking to men, so it's self-control in men. There are a few reasons of self-control in fathers, actually. And I'd say that there are a few reasons why fathers in particular struggle with self-control. I've got 3 here. One is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of how this child is going to turn out. Fear of losing control of situations. Fear of losing the child. So you see, when our children begin to get to this some age, particularly the teenage years, it's easy for us to they begin to see themselves as adults. They begin to want to detach from us, and that can easily breed fear. It can either cause fear in us or give us pride and give us a place, put us in a position to see our children thrive. But when it seems like they're not getting it right, we go into that zone of fear. And then that begins to control our responses. That begins to control the way we react, the way we respond to these children. And it begins to seem like we're losing control. So another one is anger. That fear now leads to anger. And then you are always angry at the situation. You're always angry at the child. Rather than taking a step back to review and say, okay, how can I help this child better? Because, hey, they are children. If they are adults, then they won't need to come to us. They will just drop like Adam dropped as an adult. But God created them as children for a reason, so that we can nurture them, we can raise them, we can train them aright. So when we begin to get into that zone, it's time for us to step back and wonder, okay, what can I do differently? Sometimes we get angry. There are good and bad angers, right? And so I will not say anger is a negative emotion, but it becomes a negative emotion when we're not able to control it, when the anger begins to control us. As mothers, as fathers, as anybody, once your anger begins to control you, it becomes a negative emotion. So another thing is, so the first is fear, and that fear leads to anger, and then anger leads to stress. So you're stressed up. You're not able to enjoy your family. You're not able to enjoy your moments. You're at work. You're stressed. You're at home. You're stressed. You're looking at the children that are treasures and beautiful gifts to you. You're stressed because you are afraid, because you are angry. And then it becomes a circle that I would call FAS. F-A-S. So we all find ourselves going through that fast circle, unending, and then life begins to drain out of us. There are 3 main areas of self-control that we need to pay attention to. One is the impulsive self-control. I'm going to read it as I got it from the dictionary. It says, impulsive self-control refers to the ability to manage urges and impulses. People struggle with impulsive self-control. Who struggle with this may act first without thinking. Let's take a pause there to check ourselves. Do I act before thinking? The other is emotional self-control, which refers to the ability to regulate your emotional responses. This may occur when you struggle to control your emotions, and then you find it hard to manage strong emotions. We talked about anger earlier on. Fear, anger, those are strong emotions, and then you let those emotions control you. The last, which I'm not going to dwell upon, is movement, which refers to the ability to control how and when the body moves. But the main one here for me is impulse and emotional. When the urge comes, how do you regulate yourself? When those raging emotions come, how do you regulate yourself? What do you do? Now, benefits of self-control. In the home, as fathers, the first is peace. You are at peace. Your home is at peace. You enter your home and you just enjoy the peace of being at home. I would not trade my peace for anything. I always say that. Your peace. Then you're happy. You have joy inside of you. You're able to express your love. And then there is acceptance and unity in the home. So how do I control myself? How do I put all of these emotions under control? First of all, understand yourself. Know what your triggers are. For me, one major trigger is a dirty environment. God, it drives me nuts. What is your trigger? For some men, it's money. Know what your trigger is, and then identify the way out. It's not enough for money to be the trigger. It's not enough for the dirty house to be my trigger. What am I going to do about it? What is the way out? Because in fairness, we live in the house. So sometimes the house will be dirty. Sometimes the house, there will be things where they shouldn't be. What am I doing about it? What am I going to do about it? So that stops triggering me. Or that trigger is very, very, very in the back burner and I don't see it. It doesn't come up. What are you doing about your finances? For some, is the health conditions that is not a fault of yours. What are you doing about it? Also, lack of goals. We're just jumping from one to the other. I said to my husband a lot, I'm tired of this rat race. I'm tired of working 9 to 5 every day and just jumping. Have a goal. And focus on the goal. Have a goal for your child. Who do you want to raise? I always say to parents, are you raising royalty or a slave? Because the truth is, in reality, the way we talk to slaves is different from the way we talk to royalties. The way we respond and react to them is different. So who are you raising? Also, reflect. We talked about reflect. And speak up. Don't wait until things go wrong. Speak up. Talk to your family. Talk to your children. Let them understand you. Let them know what's happening. Let them know what's wrong and how they can help. Because in fairness, those children love to be responsible for us. So tell them what is happening and how they can help you. And lastly, when things are going the way, when you think, okay, these are the things that trigger me. For instance, I have a friend that dirty house used to be her trigger as well. She said she would give her children the instructions and tell them, if I get into this house at 12 midnight and the house is not done, I will wake you up to take care of the place. Discuss consequences. If they don't do this, this is what will happen. It's a natural thing. Maybe for themselves or even for the house. And don't be afraid to let them face the consequences. Now, consequences are not uprowing and pulling down the roof. No. This has happened. This is what we agreed. Or this has happened. This is a natural consequence of that. You didn't study. The natural consequence is fail. And when they fail, hard to say, they will take the exam again, but they would have learned. It's not enough for me to break my head because they didn't get 100%. It's a journey. We're all learning from. They will learn and then get better. And I will get better on the way as well. I hope this has helped reduce how you in the house. We need peace. We need joy. We need unity. We need acceptance in our home. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Same time, same place next week. My name is Kiki.